The first poem of the evening is called Assalamu alaikum. Tonight, I ask that angels visit you in this greeting. A divine appointment of God's salam here at MuslimFest in Mississauga's meeting. Let's invite Allah's light into the brushing of our shoulders. Let us set our intentions right. Let's make the ummah's noor grow bolder. When I cast you a salam, wrap it in rahmah and send it back. A peace be upon you, it is better than a shirt from off a back. A salam from a Muslim? That's a gift from the heavens. And you never know, it could have been sent down from the seventh. Assalamu alaikum. May God's peace be upon you. May the noor of a noor shine down on you. May the angels twirl around you. If you knew, it would astound you what is packaged in this peace. This greeting that you give me, it cracks the borders free. And I don't know about you, but that world outside does not scream peace. And yet the barakah of this greeting can turn our usra into ease. You would not believe me if I told you assalamu alaikum could save a life. You would not believe me if I told you it could ease a Muslim strife. Sometimes it's a salam in the streets to remind you that you are not alone. And sometimes it's a salam to someone in need to remind you your mouth is a home. It is a sign of the end times when we pretend not to know one another. Like a family full of strangers, no sense of sister or brother. But the ummah shares vocabulary to carry each other's sorrows, to ensure God's blessings are all widespread, to ensure people spread peace tomorrow. So let's turn our mouths into gardens, orchards full of trees from which we give to our ummah. All this in the salamu alaikum that Canada is about to give me. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Let's do it again. Assalamu alaikum. Now that's what I'm talking about. What a privilege and pleasure it is to be here. My name is Amal, and my name means hope in Arabic. I'm a spoken word poet, and what it is as a young poet to witness this giant audience of Muslims in the middle of the city center with the adhan knocking off the building behind us. We have come a long way, but surely we have returned to our roots. I have a series of poems for you today. We're going to walk through the stories and the identities. I called my mom before this and asked her to make me dua, and she sends her salams to everyone. I'd like to start the first poem to honor my mother and my grandmother and all of the women who created the lineage from which we were born from. Bismillah. My body is made of two types of blood, German and Syrian. Rhine River and Nahr al-Furat, I am split tongue. Sad, Dad, Ain, Ghain on one side, Makshnel on the other. My mama fed me meatloaf with a side of fattoush. She wrapped peanut butter and jelly in sage, and some days it was just salt and pepper. But some days it was cardamom, caraway, cumin, and coriander. My world was a colorful spice rack. Before bed, she would sing us nursery rhymes and then Quranic verses. She'd tell us stories of the founding fathers and then stories of Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu. And this woman, who had an entirely different alphabet to her soup, would exchange her secrets across the ocean with my Arab grandmother. Two women, different recipes in their blood, and yet they had the same libraries on their fingertips. But my mom had hair colored like corn, green eyes, the softest tongue that couldn't pronounce the asabi that was my father's language. And Tete didn't know a single European recipe. Her plump fingers perfected yabra, Arab-chested and hazel-eyed. 14 children made her an expert in motherhood. When Mama and Tete spoke, they would use the braille of their palms to ask our foreheads if we were sick. They could tell how much we ate just by looking at us. And these women with entirely different recipes in their blood shared the same libraries on these fingertips. You see, I'm something like Pangea. Bones of Damascus steel sized to a German skeleton. Lisani ma bihtaj warning before switching from one lugha to another. My tongue can go from Colorado weather to Setba sunsets to Frankfurt after rainfall. And when I was born, I had no national anthem to my lips. I did not know the words to Tahiyyat al-Alam or the Star-Spangled Banner. The only language I spoke was whatever was in my mother's holy scripture hands. And 7 years after my birth, when I met my Arab grandmother the first time, I kid you not, I was already familiar with this language in her palms. And I think that's because I'm like rivers, split tongue. Sald, bald, ayn, ghain on one side, makshnel on the other. Shout out to the third culture kid. We are Muslimin living in the West, and we are constantly juggling all these different components of who we are. But at the end of it, my mom is a convert, my father is from Syria. And this next poem is for him and for all our immigrant parents who wrestled with their tongue on their way to this new Western life. I asked my father once what language he dreams in. And he did not know the answer to this question. In fact, it threw him off guard. My father has spent more of his life here in America than in his own motherland. Having mastered both languages, he is unsure of which he even dreams in. I remember the only time I saw my father stutter. It was in a crowded Costco parking lot, and he did not have enough stars or stripes on his mouth to muster a response to the bigot who called him something with the F word, the N word, and the word terrorist in it. It's like my father did not have the tongue to respond. Imagine that. A man without a tongue. He was tripping over his own voice like it was a herd of wild horses he could not tame. This man, my Baba, speechless? No way. He is the son of a poet. He is the child of a mother of 14. He is an Arab from Lughat al-Dald. He possesses letters you can't find in any other dialect on this planet. A man whose own sister was deaf, that he helped to create her language. My Baba, who has made it a point to tell every one of his jokes in 2 languages so that more of this world could laugh with him. And still, he did not have the tongue to respond to the bigot at Costco. I asked my father what language he dreams in. And he does not know the answer to this question. He spent more of his life here in America than in his own motherland. A man who's mastered both languages, unsure of which he dreams in, and that's because he dreams in both. My father is an immigrant restaurateur. He couldn't pick one, so he put Syria into restaurants on American soil with a bilingual menu. This is an expose of culture. My dad knows his way around the mouth. He will crack burghul on your molars. He will smuggle parsley into your teeth so that every time he makes you laugh, he can see evidence of this bilingual dream in your smile. He's not the type of man who stuttered. The only explanation I have for that day is maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided that a man whose tongue is this majestic, maybe he shouldn't even bother responding. Thank you. Yay! I love my dad, I love my mom. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them the highest stations of paradise and all of ours. Say Ameen. Say Ameen. One more time, say Ameen. mean? I'm going to give you a little rhyme here real quick and then wrap up with the final poem. But I want to give special acknowledgement to the Muslim women out here today, specifically the ones who have chosen to cover themselves with the hijab. It's getting hotter and hotter, and it's getting harder and harder, and the messaging all around us is constantly telling us that the only thing you should do to cover up is wear foundation. But we know that there's more to that. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us to hold tightly on the one thing that makes it so that when you see us, you know who we are. I wrote this in response to a comment I got once, and I hope you like it. They call me raghead ridiculous, scarf-wearing victim of patriarchal systems and matriarchal diffidence. They call my dad barbarian. My mom had a cesarean. I'm a half-white Arab, brown blood reptilian, but I was born a citizen, a Rocky Mountain denizen. Well-traveled, don't know all the cities that I've been in. Call me brainwashed? At least I wash with jasmine, and my hijab be smelling like sweet honey melon. Yo, shout out to washing your brain with some jasmine. I'd like to give this final piece. This was actually one of the most important pieces that came out of the COVID-19 pandemic for me. And as artists, all of the individuals standing up here today know that to create art, there is a piece of sorrow and depth and pain that cultivates and becomes what you have before you today. And sometimes what we need to do is we need to take what hurts and turn it into something beautiful. My family lost 49 members to the war in Syria. And there was a situation that took place where I was silent for so many years. And so this poem is in honor of all of those from all over the world who are under the rubble or under the floods, wherever they may be. And may Allah always give us the ability to keep on praying. Bismillah. Arabiti maksura. My Arabic is so broken. Like cracked teeth when you bite down on an olive pit too hard. Like shattered tea glass. Bursting chestnuts, bombed buildings. When I speak my Arabic, I am tongue-tied, tangled necklaces, stutters and mutters and sorries, the hat getting stuck in my throat like a gasping cat trying to escape the rubble. My second grade vocabulary tumbles down with the minarets of Homs. My Arabic is broken, like a nation at war, like the heart of a mother whose child hasn't called in years, like a stumbling prisoner, battered and bruised, too nervous to cross this language barrier. When a missile hit my aunt's house in Syria, my alphabet collapsed with the building on her body. When they pulled it out, it was unrecognizable, mangled. I didn't have the Arabic left to give my condolences. I thought to myself, I can't give this cheap English, this counterfeit currency. And so I said nothing. My mouth, an empty birdhouse, and all the doves are gone. But here I am rummaging through the rubble of my father's tongue, trying with the mouth of an infant to untangle these necklaces jimle by jimle. ما بعرف شلون بس هحاول. I do not know how, but I will try. I'm gonna learn to say I'm sorry in 1,000 languages. I'm gonna learn to give my condolences to every nation on this earth. And I will rebuild all the shrapnel inside of myself to be an obituary at the edge of my throat so that I can always remember the importance of speaking up. Arabiti maksura. My Arabic is so broken. Like cracked teeth when you bite down on an olive pit too hard. But I'm gonna keep on praying, even if all my teeth are broken. Thank you, Canada Muslim community. Jazakumullahu khair. I appreciate you having me. Assalamu alaikum.
Keep it going for Marcaster. Give her another round of applause one time.